Imagine this. Instead of competing with thousands of applicants in a crowded national pool for skilled migration visas, you're being directly sponsored by a regional employer who needs you, because in that region, there simply aren't enough local workers to fill certain jobs. In return, that employer helps you access a visa with more generous concessions. That's essentially the magic of DAMA, a targeted, region-specific program that aligns Australia's regional labour shortages with the ambitions of skilled, and even semi-skilled, migrants. For 2025, it's increasingly being seen as one of the easiest PR pathways for many, not because it's simple, but because it's tailored. And in several DAMA regions, the pathway to permanent residency, PR, has become faster and more feasible, making this an especially attractive option. 1. Definition and purpose. A designated area migration agreement, DAMA, is a formal agreement between the Australian Government, Department of Home Affairs, and a designated area representative, DAR, often a state, territory government or regional authority. The goal: respond to local labour shortages by allowing employers in that region to sponsor overseas workers under more flexible conditions than national visa programs typically allow. It consists of 2 layers. 1. A head agreement for the whole region between DAR and the Commonwealth. 2. Individual labour agreements between specific regional employers and Home Affairs, based on that head agreement. 2. Visa pathways under DAMA. Through DAMA labour agreements, employers can sponsor overseas workers via Subclass 482, Skills in Demand, SID, formerly TSS, visa. Subclass 494, Skilled Employer-Sponsored Regional, Provisional, visa. Subclass 186, Employer-Nominated Scheme, ENS, Labour Agreement Stream. 3. Concessions and special features. Because DAMA is negotiated for each region, there are concessions that make it more flexible than typical employer-sponsored or skilled visas. Age concessions. In some DAMA regions, the maximum age for applicants is extended, e.g., up to 55 years in WA DAMA. English language concessions. Lower IELTS or equivalent scores may be accepted. Salary concessions. Some DAMAs allow salary below standard thresholds if other conditions are met. Work experience variation. Requirements may be more flexible depending on region and visa stream. 4. Employer criteria and sponsorship. Employers must be endorsed by the DAR, designated area representative, before they can negotiate a labour agreement. They have to demonstrate they've tried hiring locally, labour market testing. The individual labour agreement, once approved, normally runs for 5 years. 5. Current DAMA regions. There are multiple DAMA regions across Australia. Some examples: Western Australia, Goldfields, Pilbara, Kimberley, Southwest, even Category 2 Perth. South Australia, 2 DAMAs, one for Metropolitan, Adelaide, Technology and Innovation, and another for Regional SA, Agribusiness, Tourism, Mining, etc. 6. Eligibility for workers. Workers cannot apply directly to DAMA. They must be nominated by an approved employer under a DAMA labour agreement. For certain DAMAs, they may not require a skills assessment for some occupations. For example, in FNQ DAMA, some occupations that are also on national skilled lists might not need a skills assessment. 7. Recent 2025 developments. South Australia, its DAMA was extended until the 30th of June, 2026. The PR pathway for many DAMA 482 visa holders in SA has been shortened to 2 years. You can apply for 186 ENS after 2 years. WA DAMA updated criteria. As of May 2025, the WA DAMA eligibility criteria were updated. NT, Northern Territory. There was a news report about a new DAMA deal that expands occupations and increases annual nomination capacity. Why DAMA is considered easiest, or at least very attractive, for PR in 2025. More flexible requirements, thanks to the concessions, age, English, salary. DAMA can be significantly less strict than standard employer-sponsored visa streams. Faster PR route. In some DAMA regions, e.g., SA, you can move from a 482 visa to a permanent 186 visa in just 2 years. Lower barriers for semi-skilled roles, because DAMA is tailored for certain regions and their shortage occupations. Even roles that wouldn't normally qualify under national skilled lists may be eligible. Employer-driven. Since the pathway is employer-sponsored via labour agreements, a lot depends on employer demand. For workers, this means if you find the right employer in a DAMA region, the pathway may be more secure. Regional growth focus. Australia is pushing regional migration to address labour shortages in less populated areas, making DAMA a high priority for policymakers and regional employers. 1. Example 1. Mining worker in Western Australia. A mining company in the Pilbara region of WA is struggling to fill roles for heavy diesel mechanics. The company obtains endorsement from the WA DA under the Pilbara DAMA. They nominate a qualified diesel mechanic from overseas for a subclass 482 skills in demand visa. Thanks to the DAMA, the worker can be older, say up to 55. The worker lives and works in the Pilbara region for 2 to 3 years, meeting the DAMA's agreed terms. After 2 years, the employer nominates the worker for subclass 186 ENS labour agreement. That gives the worker permanent residency under DAMA. 2. Example 2. Hospitality worker in Northern Territory DAMA. A hospitality group in Darwin. NT is unable to hire enough chefs and kitchen staff locally. Under the NT DAMA, these overseas workers are nominated for a subclass 494 skilled employer. Sponsored regional visa. 3. Example 3. Teka Innovation in Adelaide, SA. A software startup in Metropolitan Adelaide is part of the Adelaide City Technology and Innovation DAMA. They sponsor an overseas software engineer on a 482 visa labour agreement stream. Because of SA's recent DAMA extension, after 2 years, this engineer might be eligible to switch to a 186 ENS visa, PR, more quickly than through many other employer-sponsored routes. Comparisons. DAMA vs other PR skilled migration pathways. It's useful to compare DAMA with some of the other common ways people aim for Australian, to highlight why many see it as easiest. Visa conditions, even with concessions. Visa conditions, salary, work hours, location, still matter and must be met. Personal air visa experience, reported cases. According to Visa Advisor, DAMA 482. Visa holders in many regions can apply for the 186 ENS after 2 years, according to the FNQ DAMA Information Guide, for certain occupations, especially those already on national lists. Skills assessment may not be required. Why DAMA might be easiest PR pathway in 2025 for many. 1. Better concessions equals lower barriers. The negotiated concessions, age, English, salary, make it far more accessible for people who might struggle with national migration streams. 2. Employer want a demand. Regions with labour shortages need overseas workers, so there is a real demand. For employers, DAMA is a tool. For workers, it's a ticket into that demand. 3. Faster PR. In some DAMA regions, the time to move from a temporary visa, 482, to permanent, 186, has shortened, making the commitment more worthwhile. 4. Focused and tailored. Unlike national skilled migration, DAMA isn't one size fits all. It's negotiated based on real regional needs, which works in favour of both employers and workers. 5. Growing popularity and expansion. As regions expand or renew their DAMAs, e.g., SA until mid-2026, and as more regions sign up, DAMA becomes an even more viable pathway. Conclusion. The DAMA program is a strategically negotiated, region-specific visa pathway that aligns regional labour needs with skilled and semi-skilled migrants. For 2025, it stands out as one of the easiest PR pathways for many people, especially those who can connect with a sponsoring employer in a designated area and take advantage of concessions. However, easiest does not mean easy. Success depends heavily on finding the right employer, understanding the specific DAMA's terms, and committing to a regional location. For prospective migrants, DAMA offers real promise, but due diligence on region, employer, visa subclass, and long-term plans is crucial.